Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the PBA Oklahoma City Southwest Open Stepladder Final. It features Nathan Bohr and Deo Benard in the opening match. We just watched what wasn't technically a position round, but boy, it was 100% a position round. There were several players who certainly still had a chance to get in. Sean Maldonado, Trey Ford III, for example, both coming up just short. Then the four players who did make the show, Nathan, Deo, Eric Jones, and Zachary Leshikar, all had a chance to still claim the number one seed as Bohr, with the early spirit to kick off this stepladder final. Emil Williams Jr. here with you. Jason Thomas will join us momentarily. First look at Deo Benard here in the stepladder finals. Deo fantastic shot, boy. Deo, JT and I have been talking about Deo, of course, and many of these players obviously throughout, but his ascend, much like Eric Jones, you knew it was just only a matter of time. He's already got a couple of wins so far. The reigning Southwest Region Player of the Year. And he won his first national title at the World Series of Bowling Cheetah Championship this year in 2024. It is 3 two-handed lefties and 1 righty. No. As we welcome in Jason Thomas into the broadcast. JT, it's been everything really we could ask for since the start of qualifying, and it's certainly just a couple of games ago and going into the last game, as I just mentioned, so much that could have happened. Varying players that could have been on the show that ultimately were not. Phenomenal stuff overall.
Yeah, that last game was there was a lot of math involved. So, yeah, it was exciting, and any of these guys could have led, and it came down to the final couple of frames. But Nathan Bohr got off to a quick start yesterday in qualifying, hung on to make the show. Now he's going to have a chance to win the tournament.
Bohr opened up qualifying with an 8-10 series for the first 3 games.
He's got the whole right side of the lane to himself, so that could be bad news for these 3 lefties. The way he was able to navigate this 44-foot Billy Hardwick pattern the first 3 games yesterday, he bowls those 3 games in this stepladder, he's probably going to win. I did see Nathan during the practice session. He was clawing on one of his bowling balls with some major surface to try to get that track. We talked about the track all week long between 8 and 12 on the right side, and if you can get the ball to just hook a little bit in that track, there's plenty of push in the middle part of the lane. So your misses right, pick up and strike. And Nathan, a master of setting up pairs for himself.
Third frame Bohr, 4-player stepladder final.
And a good shot there for Nathan. And his ball reaction right now, it doesn't bode well for the lefties. Obviously, they have a decent look as well, but I think probably if you're the next 2 players in the lineup, you were hoping to see Nathan have a little bit of the hang we saw him have on a couple of the pairs in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, the right lanes, specifically lane 8 and lane 10, gave him a little bit of trouble. Here's Deo. Oh.
Get out of there. 6-pin.
Gave them all. Again, 3 two-handed lefties on the show.
All 4 of these guys in the stepladder, except for Zachary, had a lead at one point over the course of today.
Low light, 3-9.
Zachary stole the lead the last game.
Yeah, he sat and watched Eric Jones, who needed double, and I believe it was 9.
Yeah, correct. Didn't get the second one in the 10th. And no trouble on the difficult 3-9. But now Nathan with the chance to take a big lead here with a couple more strikes.
Yeah, he talked about the strategy, of course, and kind of almost went without saying. With this situation and no one else on his side of the lane, everything you can do possible to make it make the pair as good as you can for yourself.
Yeah, Nathan, final game of the round of 8, he was 6 for 6 on lane 7, and lane 8 he had a little bit of hang on it. But this one looks like he's got both lanes on the pair dialed in pretty well, and that one perfect for a 3-bagger.
Yeah, that was great, and that's what he did not have essentially throughout. But for obvious reasons, now an opportunity to take full advantage of the strategy.
Well, I think the problem for him today was he was following a bunch of righties throwing urethane, and he was always running into a little bit of hang, and he couldn't get the ball. It was going an extra foot or two, coming in a little bit late into the pocket, not going through the pins the right way. But now, with this pair to himself, being able to set them up exactly how he wants them, he's got a great look.
5th frame for Bohr.
It's got a push. Yeah, that had no chance of holding. They're still a little bit flat in that middle part of the lane, and even though he's got a little bit of bump to the right, can't miss in just yet because he's not opening his angles up enough to create hold.
All weekend we've been talking about Nathan's patience and kind of allowing the lanes to open up, of course, in qualifying. And, of course, the varying advancers rounds. He'll give it a run and make it.
Well done.
Nathan Bohr delivers.
Throwing the plastic ball at the spare. Cross lane. It's all about accuracy. Get another look at it here. Nathan, just like shooting a 10-pin, except for you move your eyes a little left, and he nails it perfectly to keep the lead.
Now 5th frame Deo. What a fantastic name, by the way. Nice job, Rick. Sending pins flying. Oh, JT, you talked about Deo this week. What has impressed you?
Everything.
And obviously, this is not your first time seeing Deo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, he's just so talented. He can do so many different things with the bowling ball. He can back it up. He can slow hook it. He can throw it hard. He can throw urethane. He can throw reactive. He can do it all.
And unfortunately, also ring sevens.
Well, this lane, obviously, for him, it's going to be the one for him to figure out. 0 strikes and 3 shots. That one was pretty close. Good news is he's staying clean. He's still in striking distance, only a 15-pin deficit. And no trouble on the 7-pin. There was that little half backup cutter at the 7. Nathan back on it here in the 6th, trying to make a better shot.
Bohr, that padded number 10 jersey. And a wiggle.
Oh!
Wow, he got another one of those, JT.
Knocked it over just enough.
And another one, I say that because in the final game of the elimination round 2, he got a good break just like that on the right lane. Specifically, it was lane 8. Fortuitous. I'll check it on the other side.
He's bumping a little bit left with his feet just to kind of cheat it. Maybe give himself a little hold. And that one over 11 board. And gets the 7-10 to fall late. We get a look at that strike in the 6th frame here. Light mixer. 2-pin. Gets hit by the head pin, sends it back over into the 10, knocks it off the deck. 25-pin lead now for Nathan Bohr. Deo Benard running out of frames, going to need to throw a couple of strikes here.
No doubles as of yet, but certainly in need. Been in control all weekend.
That one picked up really quick. First miss on that lane.
I think we started to feel that both, at the time specifically, Deo and Eric Jones really started to see, and to a degree actually Zachary as well, started to see some of the little bit earlier hook.
Yeah.
On various pairs today.
Yeah, absolutely. They, if you looked at the scores from yesterday, the lefties started off a little slower. And then they kind of found their groove towards the end of the block once they saw some carry down and a little bit of hold. But we're on fresh, and so that hasn't developed quite yet. Even though we had 3 of them practicing for the stepladder. But Dio's max score now 228. Nathan already on a 225 pace. Not over yet, but Dio's going to need to throw some strikes.
The 20-year-old.
Another good shot, but can't get the 10 to fall this time.
This is something we didn't see a lot of, certainly from Deo. Didn't really struggle with carry too often. Again, Benard 20, Eric Jones 19, Zachary Leshikar 21.
Yeah, it pays to be young.
And there's our guy Nathan Bohr doing it for those in the
for the righties and the
over
old
40.
people. All right, he can really take control of this match. He's already up a bunch. A couple of strikes here. It's all but over. Looks in a little bit. Oh, but it lays off. Nice.
Yeah, I thought it might have been just a hair left as well, but he's got them grooved. Great shot.
So with that strike, Nathan Bohr currently on a 235 pace. Just needs one mark here in the last two frames to lock up this match, no matter what Deo Benard does. Looks pretty good. Bang. 10 back. So Nathan Bohr is going to move on.
Great shot. Great two shots for Nathan Bohr. And can certainly go back to that fifth frame. Big split conversion. Lost no momentum. Meanwhile, Deo Benard struggled with carry. No doubles.
With the loft there on that lane, just to try to get a little bit further down, and gets the strike. But again, it's going to be a fourth place finish here for Deo. And it's going to be interesting to watch how these other lefties, if they're able to, A, combat that early hook that we're starting to see Deo run into, and also if they can get the carry. And I think Nathan Bohr's look is only going to get better.
Deo, the reigning Southwest Region Player of the Year.
Great shot there. But it's a little too late for Deo. Bowled a good game, though. Clean. Controlled the pocket very well. Just couldn't get the 7 or the 10 to fall on that left lane.
Owner of 9 regional titles, was looking for number 10.
Number 10 gets you in the Southwest Hall of Fame. Well, I'm pretty sure he's going to get there.
Yeah, I would think so. Nathan Bohr, already a member of that very Hall of Fame. Bohr with 27 regional titles. Benard again with 9. He's already, again, as I said, only 20 years old. Only. Eric Jones has 6. A win today would be his 7th. He's 19.
These kids are good, man. They are good. Nathan going to get a look at a different bowling ball here.
This ball got a little bit of play during practice. Wasn't sure if it was part of his strategy early in regards to breaking down the lane.
Just a little cleaner than the other one he's throwing. It's always nice to have some options. He did throw that that orange ball the first few games of qualifying, but switched out of it in game number 4. So that it's possible he could have to switch out of it here with 2 more matches ahead of him. Right over 10. Looks awfully good.
Well, he's obviously made it to where he can keep it as simple as possible. His game is really simple to begin with.
One more. The final score would be 265, and he's going to go back to the other ball here. That on over 11 and goes a little high for a 6-pin, so it's 264 for Nathan Bohr.
Nathan Bohr advances to take on our number 2 seed. Congratulations to our number 4 finisher taking home a check for $1,200, Mr. Deo Benard.
Deo Benard finishing 4th, earning $1,200 today.
Well, our top 2 seeds are going to get a little...
Eric has elected to start. Nathan trying to stay loose, stretching out. You mentioned the over 40 club.
Hey.
Saw Barnes last week, shot 300, and then tweaked his leg trying to throw a practice shot to stay loose. So good looking opening shot there for Eric Jones.
He already looked a little bit different than what we saw from Deo. Subtle differences, I'm sure, between those two players. Deo looked like he finally got to that point once he added a little loft later in the game. Great opening shot there for Eric Jones. And Nathan Bohr. 44 years of age. 27-time regional titleist. Looking for number 28 today.
Oh, man, we've seen a few of those this week. Mostly on lane 11, but Nathan Bohr leaves a pocket 6-pin to start the match. Very unusual, except for on lane 11. No trouble on the spare. We're going to get a look at that first shot once again. Right over the 10th board. Good looking shot. And normally that 6-pin gets spliced over, but not able to knock it over. And it's a spare in the first frame for Nathan.
Time Team USA member Nathan Bohr.
Right over the 12th board there, just a touch inside the target. I've been talking about it all week. There's a very defined track area here with the friction on the surface between the 8th and the 12th board on the right side. Nathan right in the middle of it. No trouble on the 7-pin. Seen those pins bounce out all week long.
Yeah, and our first deadwood clear here at the Stepladder Finals.
Here we go. Tony Lanning going to show his dexterity.
All right, guys, been out there. We talked about Tony yesterday. Grabbing calls early, taking calls, getting deadwood. Helping out the staff here. Speaking of the staff, great staff here at Planet Bowl. And a hand clap for Tony.
Taking a bow. All right, Eric Jones now with the chance to take an early 11-pin lead with the double.
Mitch Jones winning this event in 2020 as a non-member, again, folks, at age 15. Just 4 years ago, here he is trying to win it again at age 19. Bang.
Now that he's a veteran.
Yeah, he's got all the tournaments under his belt now.
Great shot. Takes the early lead.
Never looks just out of sorts. Like he and Deo, very similar in that realm. And he's been on the big stage here in 2024, speaking of Eric Jones. In some big-time moments. There's another one.
Slaps the 7 out.
Front 3 for Eric Jones. Take a look at his second frame shot.
Look at that solid. Just. Lawrence Taylor couldn't have knocked him over. Just posted it.
all of a sudden, it's going to prompt Nathan Bohr to make a ball change. It's like the new, I believe it's the Sub-Zero Forge.
Yeah, threw this a couple of times at the end of the opening game. It looked pretty good. Right over the 10th board. And,
Wow.
Speaking of Lawrence Taylor, I think he came off the left wall and took the 9-pin out there. I'm a little old with my football references.
It's okay.
Yeah.
There are some who could be watching this and have no idea who Lawrence Taylor is.
That's too bad. That's a shame.
If that is true, Google is indeed your friend.
This one's going to go right over the 10th board. Maybe 9.5. And 9-pin gets tripped out by the 2-pin. A lot of people would think that was the head pin. It's actually the 2-pin. Great shot. Good ball change. And that's why you throw that ball at the end. You know, if you can just kind of not pay attention and be okay with your look with that other ball. But Nathan's always thinking ahead. And he just saw something he didn't like. He saw that ball picking up a little too early. And he immediately makes the change. And Eric forced that, too, with his strong start. If Eric was struggling here, you know, Nathan might have given that other ball a few more frames.
Urethane City keeps on pushing.
That one
Get up the
inside
hill.
a target, threw it a little hard, hits light pocket, and gets the 10 to fall late. There's another look at it. Just a good aggressive shot. Got some folks celebrating in the background.
Jones looking for 5 in a row.
Good looking shot there.
Again.
10 back.
A former Southwest Region Rookie of the Year. 3 titles already in regional competition for Eric Jones in 2024 this season. Also earned an exemption, of course, for next year's 2025 PBA National Tour, as did Nathan Bohr. Of course, they earned him in different ways. Eric Jones was in the top 43. Nathan Bohr just missed out on the top 43 on the National Tour and had to earn it during the tour trials this past August. Fifth frame Bohr trying to keep up.
Oh, man. Got that 10 to go late. 6-pin kind of laid in the gutter. Looks like the defibrillator hit it, and it came to life just enough to get the 10-pin to fall over. So even though Eric Jones has the front 5, 1 miss, and their max scores would be identical. Look at that. Ooh, get out of there.
What a match this is brewing to be here. Front 5 for Jones. Bohr
didn't feel right. Going to take a reset here.
This one started with, of course, Jones, the front 3. Bohr went single pin, ball change for frame 3. He's perfect since the ball change. Took some time, something did not feel right. Of Austin, Texas. Former Chuck All-Star of tomorrow. Wichita State national champion. Bang.
Right over 11.5 board there. he's playing them a little different. He's playing a little further to the right on lane 6. Must be just a touch tighter for him. But he's forcing Eric Jones to stay perfect.
Eric, of course, just down the street in Edmond, Oklahoma. A little less than a 30-minute drive. Looking for 6 in a row.
Another good shot there. Nice aggressive shot. Carries the light mixer. Now got the front 6. I think the thing to watch for, though, he keeps going to the well on that one. You're going to run into a 7-pin or maybe a shaker 10. Because as the more shots go down the lane with these lefties, the more carry down they're going to see. That one just got the 10 to push over.
For the front 7. Indeed.
That lane has been picking up a little better for him. 7-pin goes late. And it's 7 in a row. I've seen one 300 game this week. Eric had a 280 to open the round of 8.
Yeah, Joshua Green this morning shot 300.
Yep, right out of the gate.
Game 1.
Now Nathan Bohr looking to keep pace. Still a max score of 279. Still anybody's ball game. Over the 8th board that's got a hook. Wow. And man, that was sweet.
I mean, I feel like, you got 2 players truly in their wheelhouse doing exactly what they would prefer or want to do on the lanes and each throwing it spectacular.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Nathan, he started the game with a different ball. Was starting to lose the look with that ball just a little bit, and because he saw how good Eric's look was, immediately made the ball change, and he's throwing the next 5 just to stay in the match. Max score 279. That would force Eric to get the next 3.
Shot here for Bohr.
That one over 12. He's hoping for it to hold, and it does.
Oh.
Splits the 8-9.
Nathan Bohr with his dad in attendance there just to our right.
Going to be the Ozio Albi match.
Again. I mentioned this earlier specifically regarding Nathan, but earning that tour exemption in bowling and earning that exemption amongst players literally half his age, just like right now. Eric Jones for the front 8.
Light on that lane the last 2 times. That was not light. That was flush.
Well, all the replays just keep looking the same.
Yeah. Great match.
Again, the number 1 seed, Zachary Leshikar, 21 years old out of Wichita State. He is from Altus, Oklahoma, another Oklahoma native. He is awaiting the winner of this one. And he is looking intently down on 1 and 2, taking a few warm-up shots.
It's like, I don't want to bowl either of these guys.
Jones for the front 9. Bang!
Oh, that was pretty. He held it up there. Just like Wesley Snipes.
Well played.
All right, well, that's going to force Nathan Bohr here to throw a couple of strikes. Eric, still obviously a possible perfect game, but if Nathan can take it off the sheet, he would force Eric to get the first one as we get a look at that beautiful shot splits the 8-9 and gives Eric the front 9. So Bohr, pretty much a must-strike situation here. Looks pretty good.
There it is.
Looks pretty good.
This might be the highest scoring match I have personally been involved in a stepladder of any kind on any tour. Although I have seen some runs at perfection in at least one stepladder.
Saw one last week.
You did.
Chris Barnes, and that was a great match.
Against John Burkett, who had 280 going into the 9th.
All right, big shot here. If he doesn't strike here, it's over. But if he gets the first one, Eric going to have to at least get a mark.
Trying to keep the train rolling.
Right over 12. That could have been. Was that the same shot he just threw?
I think it was. I mean, the execution for both players, incredible.
Are we just watching replays?
I stopped pressing the button. Honestly,
that was sweet. Right over 12. Splits the 8-9. Puts him in the 260s. So Eric going to need a mark now, at least. Well, it's a shame that anybody has to lose this match.
Yeah, obviously it feels, and very well could have been, based on the last game prior to the stepladder finals, where any one of these players could have been the top seed. Certainly feels like a title match.
Another good one, right over 12.
Bang! Nathan Bohr.
Perfect. What a great game he bowled. Started with a different ball. Made 2 good shots. Saw that he was starting to lose the ball reaction a little bit. Makes the ball change, and he tested this ball out in the 10th frame of game number 1, and he's been perfect with it. 9 straight strikes. Count is important here. As we watch, right over 12. Sucks up. Splits the 8-9. There was no chance of anything standing there. The ball took the 8-pin out. So count is important. If he gets the strike here, he forces Eric Jones to get the first hit in the 10th to win the match. If he were to go 9 spare strike, we'd have a tie at 279. Another good one right over 12. And, just maybe missed it a touch at the bottom. Leaves the 10 pin. So it's 278 for Nathan Bohr. 9 spare strike or better for Eric Jones to win the match.
Very minute difference. Eric Jones trying to take care of business and perhaps give us a little bonus all at the same time. How about a dub first? There it is. Eric Jones is going to the title match, but he's not done yet.
He's not. Chance for 300. He's carried that light mixer 3 out of the last 4 shots on this lane.
19 years old. Got inspired by Wesley Lowe and built a bowling lane during the pandemic so he can keep on practicing, he and his dad, with a DIY project. Now looking for the front 11. Indeed. And the wherewithal to just continue to keep the emotions in check.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. I was actually just going to say that because Zachary probably hopes he bowls 300 and gets a little too pumped. But I think Eric realizes we still got one more job to do here. No bonus for a 300 game, so all it is just a nice little notch in the belt. Here we go.
Jones for perfection. Bang! Eric Jones. 300. Nathan Bohr, 278. Hell of a semifinal match.
Wow.
Outstanding match. My goodness, Nathan Bohr puts up a very impressive 270.
But you're probably going to need 240 or better to take home this title.
First shot, Leshikar. Bang. Okay, Zachary. I see you. Again, 21 years old, Altus, Oklahoma. Eric Jones. Again, if you're just joining us, folks, this is the title match. Eric Jones, number 2 seed, top seed, Zachary Leshikar.
And he goes high. So he says definitely hooking more.
This is the one item, as we've mentioned, for every lefty, I feel like, but definitely these three. This is the trouble that they've run into, generally speaking. Oh,
almost makes it.
Good way to get count.
Came within a whisker of converting the big four. Now, if you're going to throw an open frame, first frame is usually a good place to do it. You have the whole rest of the game to make up for it. Although, if he'd have done it against himself last game, it would have been over.
Going to quickly rebound. Oh,
and
my.
Both shots go high.
You would think that it has to be just the subtle difference. Right?
Oh, yeah.
The 8 shots that Zachary just threw on this pair.
Yeah, and we've seen it all weekend long. There hasn't been a lot of hold on the left. You've got to feed it away. But Zachary, second to last practice shot, jumped high on a shot that I think he liked. So he did see some transition. And then he had the ability, because he still had practice shots left, to make the adjustment, whereas Eric kind of had to just either make a guess or just hope they hadn't changed. And unfortunately for him, open start.
All right, can Leshikar quickly take advantage? Indeed he can. Watching these two, JT, physically, what differences do you see? And you might have to kind of, with the trained eye, if you will, put the magnifying glass on between these two-handed lefties.
Not much. I mean, actually all three of the lefties that made the show very similar in the way they like to play the lanes and play the game. Zachary likes to use a little more speed, I think, although all of them have that ability. And Zachary also, he likes to go with the loft, although we've seen Eric loft it quite a bit this weekend as well.
Bang. Leshikar comes out firing after Eric Jones goes split to start the championship match.
Yeah, the question now, what does Eric do? Is he going to go with the loft himself and a little more speed, or is he going to try to creep a little bit right to get the ball to push? Going to have to figure something out very quickly, though.
Well, the tables have turned a little bit.
Just moved his feet and
right back at it.
Good guess. You know, unfortunately in bowling, it could have very easily been spare for Eric to start, but didn't break up the splits in either the first or the second. And let's see if the move here on lane 5 is the right one. If he makes the move here and rings a 7, he's in big trouble.
Fourth frame. Uh-oh.
Didn't like that one.
Yep.
Just missed it off his hand. And I think that might have been even worse than ringing a 7 because he didn't get a good read. Okay. Good conversion there on the 3-5-6. But he's going to need Zachary to slow down a little bit here.
Well, we know Eric Jones certainly didn't slow down in his semifinal match after getting off to such a good start. The same way that Leshikar has. Trying to keep the momentum going in his favor. Good lead early. Frame number 4. Wow, he's got area with that loft.
Absolutely. And Eric came back and said, Zachary absolutely blew up what I had. And, you know, that's what you're hoping for as the tournament leader, especially if you've got somebody on the same side, somebody that had a great look. I don't think he did it for defensive reasons.
Sure.
I think he was just trying to get himself lined up, and obviously he's started with the front 4, so he's playing offense.
Look at that loft right there.
And every shot so far has just been perfect. High flush.
How about 5? Ooh, okay.
Good break there, getting the 6. That's sort of been what these guys, these 3 lefties have been fighting all weekend long, is
6-8s.
6-8s, 6 pins. They throw 5 or 6 strikes, and then all of a sudden the ball starts to pick up just a little bit earlier, and that's why you're seeing the loft. They're trying not to move their feet.
All right, spare in the 5th for Zachary. Now Eric Jones. Now with plenty of work to do, and ultimately going to need a little bit of help. Finished 4th in 2022. Again, won it in 2020. This very event. Maybe no.
Now, and Eric's had to move a little bit off that spot now. Moved his feet, softened up a little bit. Now the ball hitting a little flat. That's what you see with urethane. You have to open up your angles. The ball's not going to hit as hard. .227, the max score left for Eric Leshikar, already on a 229 pace. So it's certainly not over yet. Look at that shot again. See, that one just doesn't quite have the pop because opening up your angle bleeds off a little bit more of the energy of the ball coming back around the corner. Reduces the amount of entry angle. And it's not a great time to be losing your look.
Already in the 6th frame. Eric Jones, no doubles.
Ball change. Went to reactive.
He did.
It's amazing how fast that look can go away, isn't it, Emil?
I mean, he obviously had the world.
Yeah.
For at least 12 shots. And maybe a few more if you include practice.
And Nathan Bohr's going, you got to be kidding me.
He's already in the car going exactly that as Leshikar Back on it in the 6th frame. Quick look at Eric Jones' shot with reactive on the left lane.
Yeah, he had to make this move. He made the move that he thought he needed to make, and the ball did not go through the pins the right way. And he's so far behind. He said, "You know what? There's nothing to lose here. Just make the move." And I think it looked pretty good, so I think he still has a chance, but he's going to need some help from Zachary here.
Again, Leshikar, a non-member, still bowling collegiately for the Shockers of Wichita State. Is a theme, of course. We got 2 Shockers, current and former, in the Stepladder finals. Doubling up is Leshikar.
Great shot after the almost 6-8 he left in the 5th. Made sure he got that one feeding a little bit more to the left and slaps the 7 out. So huge shot here for Eric with the ball change. Will it read on this lane? And it does not. Wow. And that's basically all she wrote.
It's really incredible how we can be at literally the highest of highs, the top of the mountain.
Pretty impressive attempt there at the spare with the backup ball. But his max score now 195. This one's all but over.
They just watched one of the best matches we've seen in a long time. I know me personally for sure. And just 8 shots, 4 on each lane. It might have been 6.
Yeah, I think it was 8. I think you're correct. The tournament leader gets 8.
Completely disrupted game plan for Eric Jones.
Yeah, and I'm sure Eric was paying pretty close attention to what Zachary's ball was doing.
You almost have to expect, to a degree, that there would be some subtle difference, obviously.
Well, the second to last practice shot that Zachary threw on that left lane, he went high and kind of scratched his head and then had to make an adjustment on his last practice shot. And, you know, I think Eric might have missed that one. And that was the difference. You know, Zachary got a 1-shot head start on the move, made the correct move, started with the front 4. And, you know, Eric didn't break the splits down on his first 2 shots that went high.
Take you back quickly to the last shot on the left lane for Leshikar. Look at that form, that release. Somebody get that young man a Nike NIL deal when it's all said and done for him. Sporting the Blazers. That was the first thing I saw about Zachary, so he was already on my good list.
4 pins here is going to do it.
Leshikar, regional champion here at the PBA Oklahoma City Southwest Open. Made 2 finals here in 2024. Second, the Lakewood Super Regional in Colorado, and now a champion here in Oklahoma City. Eric Jones has made now this stepladder or finished in the top 4 3 times, including his win in 2020 at this tournament.
Yep, a lot of success in this building, but you know we know he's not a one-trick pony. He had a lot of success on the national tour this season. Got picked for the PBA League.
Got the call up too.
Yep.
Performed admirably for the Portland Lumberjacks. Tim Mack put him in a big-time situation, anchoring the squad.
Put on a show in our last match. Shot 300.
Hit. He also finished 5th at the PBA World Championship. All that says to me is probably going to win a title in 2025 nationally.
It's coming. It's coming, folks. Don't bet against that.
Deo Benard got his first national win this season with the World Series of Bowling, Cheetah Championship. I see it coming, and everyone else does for Eric Jones as well. One more fill shot.
Showing us a little versatility there after that ball change. But, these one-game matches are just so tough. Your look changes, and you got to take some chances, and very easy to shoot 160 after shooting 300 as Leshikar shreds the rack for another strike. One more, he'll be in the 250s.
Appreciate everybody for tuning in this entire weekend, not just here in Oklahoma City, but all across the country. 3 regionals with RPI implications covered this weekend on BowlTV. There'll be 3 more in the coming weeks, including a PBA Junior. Oh,
and he's got them all going now. Trips the bucket.
Speaking of PBA Junior, that is a Southwest regional qualifier. That'll be at North Rock Lanes. PBA Junior members looking to head to the PBA Junior National Championship as well.
We'll get an interview with Zachary, with Emil, here in just a minute. So be sure to stick around for that. But Zachary Leshikar going to take home the title, 258 to 164 here in the title match.
Congratulations.